Oh, yeah, look at strikes. Wow.
US forces have a clear advantage. They hold too many sectors. Delta sector has been seized by hostiles. We're down to our last reinforcements. We cannot give up. Charlie sector secured. Defend those objectives. We can't stay in this fight much longer. Stop them! Our defeat is inevitable here, but we can endure this loss.
We're going to try our best now we've had a little bit of time to digest it and explain that ending, because there is a lot of questions to answer here. Now, if for some reason you've not seen this ending in full, please do yourself a favor and watch that in the top right of the screen or link below. But if you have, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below, but buckle up because this is going to be fantastic. If you like the ending, let me know by dropping a thumbs up. So as soon as we defeat the Forsaken, Samantha Maxis ends up sacrificing herself in order to rid the Forsaken of this dimension. To do that, she flies into its chest, which is a portal directly to the Dark Ether, and as she does this, she questions Weaver, saying that she's not a bad person, that she is a good soul. And she apologizes for what she's about to do, but in true Richtofen Primus fashion, says that this is the only way. And everything, including Samantha and the Forsaken, are banished into the Dark Ether, and into this weird sphere-like object which has a very canny resemblance to Sophia from Gorod, Krovi, and Revelation. Now, one thing to note is this chamber that's holding this sphere was designed by Peck. He's credited on the blueprint for this containment chamber. However, I believe that this was actually designs given to him by the director, and you'll see exactly why I think that in a little bit. Now, as soon as this happens, dimensional breaches around the world are beginning to close. The monitors that Weaver was watching from the very beginning, with locations like D Machine, Firebase Z, Mauer de Toten, and the Ural Mountains, sees the outbreak zones collapsing everywhere. The zombie hordes completely banished back into the Dark Ether, with Weaver leaning back in his chair thanking Samantha for her sacrifice. This is where things get pretty surreal. Everything encased in that sphere is now in the Dark Ether, and it gets collected by a helicopter, and we don't know where on Earth that goes to, but we'll talk about where we think that will be in a little bit. We can see our operators successfully exfil away from the site, with Ravenov waving us goodbye, and then we're brought to the star of the show for this Easter egg ending. It's a computer screen which looks similar to what we got for the ending of Mauer de Toten. In that, the group memo the director typed was Valentina is no longer an issue, Agent Klaus completed his mission, Project Janus may now proceed unimpeded, Maxis presents a problem that must be dealt with. Now, since then, we know that the director locked Samantha away and forced her to learn how to use her new Dark Ether powers, which we saw in this ending. It's almost like the director tricked Samantha into learning how to use these powers for his own goals, knowing that eventually it would lead her to doubt her own self-worth so much that she would sacrifice herself. Now, in this ending cutscene, the group memo now says, entity acquired, all breaches sealed, Maxis locked within the Dark Ether. So it seems all along it was his plan to acquire the Forsaken entity and to lock her within the Dark Ether, because she is no longer a problem for Project Janus, which we still don't know much about, but we're going to touch on that in a second. Divert strike team to Black Site 13 for indefinite containment, and as we see shortly after this, this wasn't necessarily a good ending. The US and CIA are just as bad as the Soviet Union and the KGB. I will shut down Requiem. Our agents can move on, Weaver and the rest. And then we proceed to see each main member of Requiem get arrested. Did the director royally stitch them up? I'd like to say so. They were all just pawns in Eddie's game. Even Raptor 1, of all people, could not survive this. Can we get some Fs in the chat for Requiem, please? And I don't know why, but this moment of just Weaver being held by both hands and handcuffed down this hallway is just so chilling. But not quite as chilling as seeing the director's office. He gets up, picks up his briefcase, and slowly walks out the room. Now, this is some of the most incredible, heartwarming things I've ever seen. Look at his desk. From left to right, we have a picture of Richtofen potentially holding a weapon or on a boat. It's really, really hard to tell, but what we really need to focus on is the snow globe on the desk. And yes, my friends, that is the house from Revelations in that snow globe. Exact same one that Samantha Maxis as a child plays with in the Zombie Chronicles trailer. It's been 5 years since Revelations, and seeing this back again, oh my god, the feels, man. But what is even more heartwarming is the picture on the right. We can see that Richtofen has a wife and he has a child. Now, at face value, this is absolutely incredible to just imagine this character has gone through so much and has grown up from the child that we saw at the end of Tag the Toten to a fully grown adult with a wife and child. But I feel there is a very somber, sad sub-story to this photo, which if you don't pay attention to intel, you'd never know. We've been following the Cold War zombie storyline closely. We've learned through intel that there was a traumatic situation that Maxis and Weaver experienced during the Islamic Revolution of 1979. Maxis was saved by Gregory Weaver, who is willing to go off the books to extract her out of the country. And this marked the beginning of their strong friendship. And at one point, Weaver and Samantha were actively attempting to save a boy. The original story was Samantha was waiting for a phone call from Weaver from 10 to 12 o'clock. She heard an explosion on TV. 2 hours later, Weaver arrived at Sam's apartment, bloodied and wounded, and whilst crying, Weaver mumbled about covering his tracks after a hit and how sorry he was. He confided Samantha, telling her that the boy was supposed to be staying with his mother, but in reality was inside the house as it burned to the ground. In Season 6 intel, we learned that the little boy's name was Samuel, and that she had a feeling that this would come back to haunt her and Weaver. Now this is Treyarch we're dealing with, and when Samantha has a feeling that this will...
Bravo sector.
Conquest proceeding. We now control most of the map.
This is what I'm talking about, man!
Hostiles have assumed control of Echo Sector. We have secured Alpha Sector. The majority of sectors are under our control. Sector.
We control most sectors on the map.
Status. We'll need to keep pressing American forces, but we're holding some objectives.
those sectors on the battlefield.
Objectives captured. Sector secure. Weakening them. U.S. forces are being depleted. Charlie sector is now under U.S. command. They've secured all of Alpha sector.
I need help!
Conquest proceeding. We now control most of the map.
half strength. Bravo sector has fallen to U.S. forces.
Stop the US forces from conquering every sector.
They've taken all of Foxtrot sector. They've just taken Delta sector.
American forces will take every sector if they aren't stopped.
Противник! Target down!
They've secured all of Alpha sector.
American troops occupying most of the net.
We have captured all of Delta sector.
Luke, you have to be careful, they've got a tank.
most sectors on the map.
I'm reloading! Someone! I'm going! Requesting medical assistance! I need medical help!
They now control Charlie sector.
We control most sectors on the map.
Throwing grenade! Reloading! Keep me covered!
Foxtrot sector has fallen. U.S. troops in control. We need to secure more sectors before the whole map falls.
Get me up from here! Please! I need help! Requesting medical assistance!
Меня прижали огнем!
Echo sector has fallen to our attack. Stand strong. One last blow and victory is ours. All of Delta sector is under our control. They're scouting for weakness. Hold on to those sectors. sector.